It's the top of the hour. Putting the U in HBCU. We are HSRN. You are listening to Green Talk for Brown Folks with Ryan Marshall on HSRN.
Welcome back, everybody, to a new episode of Green Talk for Brown Folks. It's your host, Ryan Marshall. I am so excited to be back here. We're already in the middle of January, and we are speeding right along in this new 2022 year. We're so excited. We're going to give you some great money tips, money strategies, growing your wealth, saving more money, living your best life. And we are continuing our conversation. We brought back the director of new car sales for Landers McLarty Chevrolet, Mr. Jeff Layne. Jeff is a good friend, a trusted advisor. He's helped our family out. And he's here just again to continue this conversation, talking about some of the things that you could do and giving you some car buying tips for the new year so you can go out and be smart with your car buying decisions, things that you may have known already, maybe a twist on it, maybe some things you didn't know. And so here's Jeff, and we're going to just dive right into this conversation here. Any tips for people? I know we talked about tough credit or whatnot. What's the hot car right now? For Chevy. I know that you've got a lot of really good things coming out, and that I gotta tell you, that Tahoe, man, is tough. That new redesigned Tahoe. So kind of talk about some of the things that you guys have, some incentives maybe that you are offering to help people get into vehicles, if there's any military incentives or student discounts or anything like that. And we just love to kind of shine a light on what you guys are doing.
Yeah. So right now, everything's hot right now, just due to what's going on with the industry, with the shortage of chips. All cars are, and SUVs and trucks are in high demand. Right now, the hottest one is I would have to say, behind the Chevrolet Corvette C8 model, it would have to be the Chevrolet Tahoe. Behind that would be the Silverado. Those are two great quality products that Chevrolet has designed. That the engineering team, I just can't say enough about the quality that they put into those automobiles. I've owned them. So I can definitely say the Silverado is a great vehicle. The Tahoe is an amazing family vehicle, which I just purchased one myself for the family. And it has the best space. They've made it more functional, where you can adjust the second row seats, the third row. Those seats fold flat into the floor to create more cargo space and more interior space. The safety is there. They've created a new diesel engine to go inside of our full-size vehicles, which has helped the fuel mileage. Whereas the Tahoe has a EPA rating of up to 28 miles per gallon on the highway, which is huge for a large SUV of its size. I mean, you don't have mid-size crossovers, some of them out there on the market doing that. And the Tahoes, they're pulling it with a V8 or a diesel engine, whichever is your preference. We're offering both of them. We're doing pre-orders on vehicles at our store. That's one of the newest things a lot of people are doing because of the vehicles aren't on the lot. They're saving a lot of money through pre-orders, right? You're not having to you're able to order the vehicle exactly the way you want to. We've been ordering vehicles for people from Alabama to California. I just delivered a vehicle to San Francisco yesterday.
And I was going to ask you about that, because we got listeners everywhere, some in the South, some in the East Coast. They're like, okay, well, I'm in Maryland. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, which is not too far from where you're at, but I'm not in Alabama. Can you give me a great deal, and how can you get this car to me? And that's good to know that you're delivering vehicles half a world away in California.
Directly to your doorsteps. is how we can get it to you. We've created a seamless process at our store where we've made. Our thing is we want to make car buying easy. We don't want it, and we want to make it the best experience, right? Mm-hmm. It was a long time where you ask people, man, going to the dealership was right next to getting your tooth pulled at the dentist. Mm-hmm. You know, they didn't want to be there. You know, everybody walk in the store and everything, but you know, almost seemed like they got armor on. We don't want that. You know, I want it to be just as happy as when you purchase your first home, right? Mm-hmm. I remember what it was like when I bought my first home. I was happy. I was excited. It was the best day of my life, right? Mm-hmm. Right next to marrying my wife and having my son. Mm-hmm. You know, and I want your car buying experience to be the same way. It's supposed to be something happy. It's the second largest purchase you're going to make. Why should you be on defense about that, right? You should be happy and excited about that time. And that's what we like to do at Landers McLarty Chevrolet. You know, we like to make it easy for you. We don't want you to worry about how you're going to get your vehicle. We'll get it to you. We don't want you to worry about how to make sure that it has the proper equipment. We'll sit down. We'll build it for you. Make sure it's the right vehicle for you. Make sure you don't have too many options. You got just enough of what you want. So to make sure that your dollars are going to the right place. I think a lot of people, and that's one of the great things about this situation right now with the chips, right? We look at it and we talk about how a lot of vehicles aren't in inventory. Well, you're actually saving money as a consumer. Because there was a time where you were out buying vehicles that had more equipment than you wanted, and you had to negotiate a price to get it affordable. Mm-hmm. Well, now you can order the vehicle the way you want to, get exactly what you want, get the color you want, get the equipment you want, pay for what you want, you know, and that's the new way, and make it easy, right? Mm-hmm. From the seat of your home. We don't have the time we used to. Due to the pandemic, a lot of people scared to leave their homes. We take care of that, right? We make sure if you don't want to visit a store, you don't have to. You don't have to. We'll do it for you. Mm-hmm. You know, we'll deliver the car. We'll order it. We'll make it easy and seamless. That's awesome. And that's what we like to do, and that's what we're doing for our customers. Mm.
That's awesome. Man, that's that is really, really good, and I'm really excited. It seems like you really make it a very seamless and easy car buying process. And like you said, a lot of people look at it as, I would rather just lay in the mud face first and have somebody yank all my teeth out before going to the car dealership, you know, but you guys make it a really seamless and easygoing experience. And so and that's something that I'm sure a lot of our listeners can really enjoy and really embrace. Coming up in segment number 2, we're going to continue our conversation with Director of New Car Sales at Landers McLarty Chevrolet in Huntsville, Alabama, Jeff Layne. He's going to talk and discuss some options that you may have as far as purchasing a vehicle during a pandemic. There are certain people in certain parts of the country that are still trying to play safe and lock down, and they want to make sure that everything is taken care of, and they still have their needs for buying a car. So we're going to talk to Jeff about that, and we're going to talk about some more car buying tips that you might have for the new year. So this is upcoming segment number 2, Green Talk for Brown Folks, with your host, Ryan Marshall. I'll be right back.
You are listening to Green Talk for Brown Folks with Ryan Marshall on HSRN.
Welcome back to segment number 2 of Green Talk for Brown Folks with your host, Ryan Marshall. We are here once again continuing our conversation with Director of New Car Sales at Landers McLarty Chevrolet in Huntsville, Alabama, Jeff Layne. He is here once again to talk about all of your car buying tips, your concerns, your needs, things that you can do to live your best life, have the car of your dreams, or just be able to be in a better position when talking about or negotiating purchasing or leasing a vehicle. And Jeff is here. We're going to give you all of his information, where you can find him, where you can find the dealership, how you can get in contact with them. And then also, we're going to continue segment number 2, and we're going to get into the pandemic. And we understand the pandemic is still raging on. This Omicron variant is really getting a lot of communities and a lot of states. And so people want to remain safe in purchasing their vehicles or being able to trade a vehicle in and do business. And Jeff is going to talk about some of the ways and the creative things that they're doing to be able to still interact with people and to still be able to do certain things. And that's so very important. So Jeff, I want to talk to you about that. You know, I got to ask, a lot of people these days are talking about, obviously, the pandemic, you know, and you have a way where people can get the same service while they're sitting at home. Talk about that a little bit, please, if you could.
Oh, yeah. You do not have to leave your home these days. We know that these are trying times. And we know that a lot of families are worried, but we still need certain things. We still have to have certain things. But a lot of people don't know how to go about that right. It's just as easy as going to our website, Landers McLarty Chevrolet.com, reaching out to one of the specialists, reaching out to myself, letting us know what your desires are. We can handle it all from the beginning of the process of searching for the proper vehicle or building that proper vehicle if we don't have it on hand, to applying for the vehicle, connecting you with the right lending institution that can provide the best services for you, and delivering the vehicle to you. All from the city of home. Trying to make it almost as easy as ordering a pizza, right? Except for it takes a little bit longer.
Yep, absolutely. That's great. And then there are some people that are worried about what's happening with the economy and inflation. And they talk about, hey, man, everything from milk to clothes to you name it, it's much higher. And they are probably saying, you know what, cars have to be the same way. Are there any strategies that you might have to help assist people, with a purchase, thinking that maybe cars are more expensive now?
I tell a lot of people when you have some places where vehicles are in high demand, and because of that, it carries a higher cost than normal times. I tell a lot of people, look at that, but in knowing that that's there, right? One of the other things that's there is your trade values. The vehicle that you currently own. The vehicle that you currently own may be worth more today than it was before because of that. So it's not just on the dealer side or on the dealer side that cost is up. The cost is up for the customer, where they can say, hey, for my car, I need a little bit more. And that's happening. Vehicles are in high demand, not just on our side of trying to provide it for the public, but also on our side of trying to acquire. That has gone up tremendously, and that's become a great thing for our consumers, because I have customers coming in every day, shocked, falling out their seats when I tell them how much I'm giving them for their vehicles. So I tell everybody, do a little research first. Do a little research, see what's out there, see what's going on. If you have to, you can contact me. I'll help you through the process, just to making things a lot easier, and showing you how it's not just on the purchasing side that it seems that things are hard, because they're really not. It's actually the other way around. It's actually the other way around.
That's interesting. And I guess I never thought about that, because a lot of people are in need of, you guys are essential workers, and this is an essential item, is a vehicle. People still have to go to and fro to do those things, emergencies. Doctors have to, and it matters. And so cars are in high demand, especially your trade. And I never thought about it like that.
And people feel safer in their own automobiles right now than ride sharing and some of those things that we got accustomed to. We've gone back to feeling safer in our own vehicles.
Man, that's awesome. That's a really good point to point out as well. That a lot of people may say, hey, these cars may be more expensive, but hey, I didn't think about it. They're also giving me more money for my trade as well, because if I have a really nice pre-owned vehicles may be in demand as well. People looking to try to do that. So that's a great point. Really, really appreciate you saying that. We're going to kind of dive in just to some nuts and bolts here. I think one of the basic questions that you may hear somebody when they're looking to get a car is, should I buy or should I lease? Can you kind of explain to the listeners out there the difference between buying or financing a car versus leasing a car, maybe just some of the advantages that maybe each of them may have?
Yeah, Ryan, it's always been a fear from a lot of people of leasing vehicles, just because of the horror stories they've heard in the past, whether it be, when I turn my vehicle in, how much will I owe? What will I have to pay to the dealer? What will I have to pay out of pocket? Is it going to be more expensive than it is if I just buy it straight out? I always tell people, when you're looking at that decision of leasing, of purchasing, base it off your needs. How are you going to use the vehicle? How is that vehicle going to be for you? Are you going to keep it for a long time? Because some people do. My wife, she buys a car, she holds on to it. Me, I like to be in a new car. I like the new smell. I like the new gadgets. I love technology. I love the evolution of an automobile. So I like to get a new vehicle often. So for me, leasing is perfect. It just depends on how you're going to be using the vehicle, how long you plan on keeping it, because they both have their advantages, right? You purchase an automobile. Both of them, you have to make monthly payments unless you write a check. So under either way, you don't own the vehicle until you get the title to that vehicle. And that's one of the things a lot of people make the biggest mistake on, when they're making that decision. They say, well, I want to purchase the vehicle because I own that vehicle. Well, you miss a payment and we'll see who really owns it.
Right, exactly. Miss a couple
really
payments.
Owns that vehicle, but after so many years, the manufacturer warranty goes out on the straight purchase, and that's some of the things we have to think about. So your cost of ownership tends to go up. It's not as low as you think it is. It can tend to be a little bit higher. Whereas when you lease a vehicle, if you do it within that factory warranty, you can be covered for all expenses throughout your ownership of the time of driving that vehicle. You pay for what you use in the lease. You're only paying for what you use. So if you want to use that vehicle for 3 years in the lease, that's what you're paying for. Whereas in a purchase, if you're going to use it for 3 years, you still have a balance you have to pay off. On the lease, you turn it in, you move on to another vehicle.
That's interesting, because I think a lot of people, like you said, they may not understand that even when you're buying the vehicle, you still have a title and you still have a lien holder on that title.
That's right.
And when that car if you don't pay the payment after a month or two, then that lien holder, they can come after that car, say, hey, this is our car. You have not made the payments, and they'll just take it and do what they need to do, sell it, auction it off, whatever. I think it just, like you said, it depends on what you're trying to do. And I think that's a great point. We're having such a great conversation with Director of New Car Sales for Landers McLarty Chevrolet in Huntsville, Alabama, Jeff Layne. We are going to wrap it all up in segment number 3 after we come back from a commercial break. This is Ryan Marshall, your host of GTBF, Green Talk for Brown Folks. We'll be right back.
You are listening to Green Talk for Brown Folks with Ryan Marshall on HSRN.
Welcome back, everybody, to Green Talk for Brown Folks with your host, Ryan Marshall. We're here to wrap up everything. What a great interview segment that we are having with Director of New Car Sales at Landers McLarty Chevrolet in Huntsville, Alabama, Jeff Layne. Jeff, I really appreciate you coming on. Can you give me some information on how people can get to you? If there's a website, if there's a general phone number, if there's social media that you have, where can they find you guys?
Yeah, you can find us. We're Landers McLarty Chevrolet. We're located in North Alabama in the Tennessee Valley, Huntsville, Alabama, also known as the Rocket City, which is a thriving town right now, thriving, beautiful city. But you can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on any social networks, along with visiting us at our website on the World Wide Web at www.landersmclartychevrolet.com. That's LANDERS McLarty MCLARTY Chevrolet.com. Or you can reach us 256-830-1600. My name is Jeff Layne. I'll be glad to assist you with any of your car buying needs, any questions, inquiries, pre-orders. We're here for you. I want to help you with anything you need. Please reach out. And it's no matter where you're at, right? I just told you that. From coast to coast, I'm here to serve you in any way possible.
That is amazing. I certainly appreciate your time coming on to Green Talk for Brown Folks. Really do. That's Jeff Layne, Director of New Car Sales at Landers McLarty Chevrolet in Huntsville, Alabama. Like you said, beautiful place to be. My wife and I lived there for a number of years. Great dealership, great people all the way around, have treated us like family. Minority owned as well, and that's so very important. We have to support our minority owned businesses, and this is a minority owned dealership. Go see Jeff, go see the people there. Tell him you heard him here at GTBF, Green Talk for Brown Folks, and he will most certainly take care of you. Thank you so much once again, Jeff. I really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Ryan. We got to definitely do this more often.
Absolutely.
I definitely love to be here for any of your listeners with any of their questions.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. We'd love to have you back on.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thanks for listening to Green Talk for Brown Folks with Ryan Marshall on HSRN. Follow Ryan's social media on Twitter at Ryan H. Marshall and on Instagram, RHM WealthWave. You can also connect with him via email at ryan.marshall@howmoneyworks.com. That's ryan.marshall@howmoneyworks.com. Join him next Friday at 1 p.m. for another edition of Green Talk for Brown Folks.